One,
and
2, 3.
you stop that.
I'm gonna swing from the chandelier, from the chandelier.
So what, we watch anime. So what, we play League. We're just having fun. We don't care who sees. So what, we stay in. It don't bother me. Living young, pale, and nerdy.
Hello and welcome to the Reetin Entertainment Podcast, episode 341 for what's the date today? March 13th, 2022. Time has changed, literally, and I don't like it. Joining me this week, we have Andrew Aroah McFain.
Yeah, I was up last night when the time changed, and I was like, oh no. Ah.
I remember in high school, I did not know the time was changing, and I was up at, 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. watching probably Velocity or something, which was a WWF thing, World Wrestling Federation Velocity. Anyway.
Yeah, the World Wildlife Fund.
Yeah, where
That's the one.
they take pandas and put them into a ring where they fight against each other.
I would
Watch
pay
that.
pay-per-view to see that.
Yeah,
time.
buddy.
Vince McMahon, if you're listening, I'm tapping at my brain right now.
I was like, why is it 3? And then I went to bed. And we're joined by, of course, Connor, the Cyberpunk Monk Nemesis 0320 Besh.
That hasn't been my handle for so long.
I remembered it.
0320.
Yeah, whatever.
That's what it was.
Was it?
Really?
Okay, yeah.
When I was like
15.
it was Yahooligans, so I think I was 6 or 7. So
Hey.
give me a fucking break.
That's where my email address came from. I was 8 years old.
Nice.
That's why it has an 8 in it.
That's the only reason I still have a Yahoo account.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, you still use Yahoo anyway. I still use Hotmail, so I can't really say anything.
Hey, pro tip out there. Don't delete your old email accounts.
Why not?
Because then somebody will sign up with that account, and then they'll still get all those old emails you forgot you were getting.
Oh,
you're just on
that
a
makes
mailing
sense.
list. Just because you deleted an email doesn't mean that you're not on that mailing list.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, where can we find you, Connor?
You can find me at Aroah website. One of those links that I want to bring your attention to is Clinton's Core Classics, or Rise of the Rune Lord's First Edition Actual Play Podcast. Please give it 5 stars on any rating service that you can. Did you get all that?
I got all that. And Aroah, where can we find you?
I think I just had an oral seizure.
Why is that?
I was just talking too fast, man.
Yeah, you just need to slow it down, Connor.
You should see me spit some hot fire on the mic, homeboy.
Please, I want to see Connor rapping.
We got a new intro.
What did you ask me?
Where can we find you?
You know, he already said it. It's
Okay.
Everything's at Aroah.website. It's all there.
Perfect.
You don't have to ask me every week.
I have to ask you every week in case we get new listener.
We won't ever get new listener.
So, of course, I'm your host, Nathan Reeton Spruth. You can find me everywhere at Reeton. Go to Twitter. Follow me there. I talk, good stuff on there. And then you can go to where I'm usually at from 6 to 9, Monday through Friday, twitch.tv/Reeton. What?
6 to 9.
Yeah. And then, of course, I have YouTube, which is youtube.com/Reeton or Reeton Entertainment. Those are the places you can find me. So let's go to Aroah now, since I started with Connor earlier. What games have you played this week?
What did I play? Much of anything new? No,
Probably not.
So. No, it's I've been really stuck on Elden Ring. It's really fun. Everyone's playing it.
What have you done in Elden Ring?
I found a cave with some giant ants. and they got past the giant ants, and it turned out that there was a giant underground cathedral with like rock zombies in it.
Was there the antagonizer? That's a Connor reference.
Uh-huh.
Like, I ran past the rock zombies out of curiosity, and then there was this giant tentacle monster shooting energy balls at me, and I ran the fuck out of there because I couldn't handle that. I have fucked up in my Elden Ring playthrough, in that I just kept kind of going in one direction.
And you're supposed to like branch out.
Well, you see, I've gone way too far, and the further away you get from like the starting area, it seems the stronger that everything gets. So almost everything can kill me in like one hit, maybe two if it's particularly weak. And it takes a lot for me to kill almost anything.
So what you're supposed to do is go out a little bit and then go in a circle, and then go out a little bit and then go in a circle, creating a sort of ring.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. Maybe an Elden ring.
Because if you don't do that, then you run into some really scary situations. I apparently accidentally managed to bypass the first major boss by doing that, which is interesting. I think it's really cool that is a possible thing.
Did you find
good game
any
mechanic is when you can just run away from your problems successfully.
Yeah.
Just like in real life.
Have you found any bosses since then, like any major bosses, or did you fight that boss? Did you go back and fight it?
No, I am scared as hell of that boss. So I have avoided going there because I am almost definitely not strong enough to fight them. I mean, maybe I am. I don't know.
You just don't think you're strong enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that that's another reference, right?
That's a Cher reference.
Yeah, yeah. I knew it was a song. Couldn't think of it.
Hate that song. Well, yeah. Did you play anything else? I know you were doing some VR last night.
Oh yeah, I was playing some VR stuff. What was I doing? What did I do?
I don't remember.
Oh yeah, I played Risk of Rain in VR.
How was that?
Yeah,
That
was
sounds
really
fantastic.
Fun.
Yeah,
it was really, really fun. It worked really well. The mod is like, it is impressively well done. Like, I would almost believe that the game was made for that if it wasn't for the fact that it's usually running at like 60 to 70 frames per second instead of 90.
Yeah. I saw. I'm changing changing topic. It's still on VR, but I saw there's a LA Noir VR.
Oh yeah, that's been around for a while.
Have you played that?
I haven't, but I've seen other people play it.
It looks,
and it's not like the full LA Noir.
Of course.
It's like a chopped up experience. It is like a good chunk of the game. It's just they removed some parts that like just ostensibly would not work very well in VR.
Yeah.
But you've got shootout segments, you've got like walking around a crime scene and picking stuff up. It's all pretty cool. It does kind of reek of being an early VR port. So like there are a lot of fade transitions where they should have probably just coded it to where you could pick up and like whenever you pick something up, it fades out and then fades back in and you're holding the item, like that kind of stuff.
They do that. They do that a lot.
Yeah. And it's just because the game originally didn't have like a straight transition animation like that and it wasn't architected that way. But
yeah,
it still works really well. Kind of a lot like Resident Evil 7 VR, where like except that one, like RE7 had VR in mind in a lot of cases, but there are still a ton of situations where it's a fade out whenever it didn't have to be. but they just
Yeah.
didn't know how else to do it.
Well,
Yeah,
they've done that in games just forever. One of the ones that I remember is BioShock Infinite, where you get your hand bandaged up. You see, like, she's like, "Here, give me your hand," and then it like goes out of frame and then comes back up and it's bandaged.
Oh well, yeah, sure. That's just like a classic animation trick.
Yeah.
That's like why whenever you see two 3D people kissing, like they hide their mouths because animating two 3D things kissing is just awkward.
Mac,
It
the
never
face
looks
meet
good.
together. My mouth.
It can look good, but it requires a lot of
It
work.
never looks good.
It never looks good.
It
Don't
never
kid
does.
yourself.
But like The Last of Us 2, apparently they have Joel putting on a shirt, which I know sounds weird.
But
But, like-
that's like an intense animation feat.
That was somebody's
Yeah.
month, probably 2
Yeah.
months.
Yeah, that was something. And to make it so that we'll talk about it in a bit when I get to my games, but to make games where like clothes like that when you're putting them on don't like clip through the model, it's very difficult. Very
Yeah.
difficult. Okay, so did you do anything else? I saw you were gaming with your family.
Yeah, I think you tried to get me to mention it like maybe a week or two ago, but yeah, I am playing WoW again.
No!
Aw.
Not on a terribly like regular basis, like maybe every couple of days, and even then only because you have to do some bullshit to be able to get certain items that are pretty much necessary to perform well in the new meta. But I don't know. I'm not like hating it, but it's in that transition mode.
Why
right
couldn't
now,
you
where,
why
like,
couldn't you get them to play Final Fantasy?
honestly, my wife really doesn't like Final Fantasy.
Oh, well, don't play games with her.
Divorce my wife?
Well,
was that
I wasn't going to say that.
Mary
Yeah, you
Nathan.
were.
Marry
that would have
me.
been that. That absolutely would have been your joke if we weren't on the podcast.
No, it wouldn't have
But
been.
it's
I don't
okay.
think so.
It's okay.
I wouldn't have said
I
to
did it for
divorce
you.
her. Maybe do something else, but not divorce
Oh,
her.
kill her?
Yeah,
That's what you would.
Yeah,
There you
that
go.
sounds
All
more
right.
like it.
That's Nathan.
yeah.
Got it.
Any case. Yeah.
So we're gonna move on to Connor. That's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, fine. Go.
I'm sorry. WoW sucks.
I know. I
Wow, that
know.
sucked.
It's
And-
it. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Whenever you are ready to escape from that life again, we are going to be here for you because we're supportive and we want to see you succeed, sir.
And if you want to enter a life of crime, you can come play games with us.
I already asked.
Yeah, I know. So
So the
Games you
games that
play.
I've been playing is not much. I do have a brief story about Space Station 13, which I played a couple of rounds. It wasn't anything too exciting, except for this one time that the science lab exploded while we were underwater, which is bad because we were underwater and the ship started taking in water. And
yeah, that sounds bad.
That's
And
not a space station. That's a water station.
it's called Ocean Laboratory, and turns out you're on a planet that's mostly water, studying it. And when the ship starts taking on water like that, most of the time you call the emergency shuttle and get the fuck out. However, I was a janitor with a mop. And users who listen to the show often will remember
No.
2 weeks ago I had learned how to program a turbo button on my my controller. And I was like, well, this is great. I bet I could do this with my mouse. So I made a button and I randomized it, and maybe I'm getting into trouble because I don't think I'm technically supposed to do this, like as the rules say. But I made it so it clicks everywhere from anywhere, 35 to 105 milliseconds, just to give it a bit of a randomness element.
Yeah.
And I set where the bridge was, and I say was, it no longer was there. I slapped an oxygen breath mask on me, emergency suit. I got my mop out, and I mopped up the entire ocean. There was no more ocean.
So you saved the ship. That's what you're
I
saying.
saved the ship, but at what cost?
I don't know, probably a lifetime ban. That's probably the cost.
Oh, they loved it.
Oh, good.
Creative solutions are rewarded.
Oh, good.
The janitor's like, no, I can stop this.
We need to make.
He like fucking Moses parting the Red Sea, but it's a janitor just fucking spinning his mop around at warp speed, vaporizing all the water.
And not even the mop and bucket that you can carry around. Just me in my normal bucket, like that you carry in your hand, against the planet of water.
That sounds like a college humor sketch or something. Like some.
Yeah, that's a Newgrounds animation at the very least.
So
I would like to do a live action sketch of that if we could all get
hope
together.
Somebody does.
That would be fun.
It's depending on what job you play, you get experience for doing certain things. Janitors get like a 20% chance to get 1 experience point anytime they clean up a mess with their mop. I had gotten like 522 experience that round.
What do you do?
Ludicrous.
What do you do with experience points?
It gives you like trinkets and stuff. I'm a level 18 janitor right now. At level 5, you get a red bucket instead of a blue bucket. Level 10, you get a neon sign instead of a yellow sign. 15, you get an orange mop instead of a blue mop. And then 2 levels from now, the final one, you get the head of sanitation beret.
Do those do anything other than cosmetics?
Cosmetic. It's all the flex.
Oh, okay, cool.
I mean, I
Damn
feel
on
like
those haters.
you deserve all those points, considering.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
did save a ship.
You creatively cheated. So, did you do anything else? Any Warhammer stuff? I know you had some D&D where a guy fell against a wall or something, but
Yeah, that's business that I probably shouldn't be saying on a mic. However, I did play a little bit of Warhammer Gladius, and if you've never played a Civilization-style game, a 4X game, those are kind of games that you can do other things while you're playing them.
yeah.
And I was painting while playing them because, boy, Warhammer sure is a fun hobby. I definitely don't have an addictive personality. You have an addictive personality.
Have you played Total War Warhammer 3 yet?
No, not yet. I hear not good things about it, though.
Oh, no.
Oh,
That's
really?
not good.
I know you get a knight, so I don't know how they fuck that up, but yeah.
Anyway, sorry about that. It's included in Game Pass, if that makes you feel any better. So you could play it there if you had Game Pass.
Can I borrow your Game Pass?
I don't think so.
Well, I guess I don't have Game Pass then, do I?
No, you don't. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about me and the games I played. On Monday, I finished God of War for the PlayStation 4/5, and it was shorter than I thought it would be. As in, they said it was going to be about 21 hours for the main story, and I did a lot of side stuff. Not all of the side stuff, but I dinked around a bit and did exploration. And when
Mr. Dink?
Huh?
Mr. Dink?
I
What?
don't know what you're saying.
Mr. Dink.
Mr. Dink?
Mr. Dink?
Is
No,
that like
You
Mr.
said
J?
you dinked around a bit.
I'm going to
I'm
ignore
so
what you're
confused.
saying. I don't know what you're talking about. So
Are you okay?
You Mr. Dinked around a bit, Douglas?
anyway,
What are you
I
talking about?
did some exploration.
Doesn't watch Doug?
I thought
I actually hate
maybe
Doug.
it was from I thought it was from Doug because I knew there was a Mr. Dink, but I was like, what are you talking about? Anyway, we're gonna move on, and I'm gonna tell. I did some exploration.
One of
and
our
it only took
listeners
me,
will know.
One of them.
Our one listener might know.
might know. So I only took 18 hours to beat God of War, and everything online said it was gonna be around 20. So I was like, oh, cool. And yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it too much, but I told you there's a time. Last week I told you that your son finds out that you guys are gods, and he just becomes
a douchebag.
becomes a dick. And after that, on Monday when I was playing it, he's like rude to the blacksmith. I told you he was rude to the blacksmith. But then when I turned it on Monday, Kratos is like, you didn't have to be a dick to the fucking blacksmiths. And he's like, well, you're getting annoyed with them too. He's like, yeah, but I don't have to fucking say it. Like, come on, it's not going to do anything. Like, I just like how Kratos, he's even like, whoa, man, calm down. I'm the vicious murdering machine, and I'm even telling you, you're going a bit off the rails. But it's good. And I had fun with it. And there's a twist at the end, which really wasn't a twist at all, if you paid any attention to the story. But it's...
Kratos eats his own son.
Yeah, that's what happens. He eats his own son. No.
That's my favorite painting.
Let's just say you end up killing Baldur at the end, because he's the bad guy. He's the bad guy of the game.
Is that Baldur from Baldur's Gate? Dark Alliance?
Yeah. Baldur, you take down the gate. You take down Baldur's Gate. It's really weird. It's a weird crossover, but it works. But anyway, it was a good game, and it's clear that they want to make a sequel. I'm assuming they already are working on it.
Oh yeah, didn't they already announce it?
Oh, probably years ago.
God of War Ragnarok, right?
Oh yeah. So you're gonna go and fight. You're gonna fight Thor, and Ragnarok.
Oh man, I hope Iron Man shows up.
Yeah. Thor. Well,
biggest crossover event.
It makes sense.
There's a Fortnite. There's a Mario.
I know Connor knows more about Greek mythology Norse mythology than I do. But I'm pretty sure the beginning of Ragnarok is when Baldur dies. And so, since Baldur dies at the end of God of War, that would then, of course, lead into Ragnarok.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did I do that?
Yeah. And then, let's move on. The other game I played from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday was WWE 2K22, playing through the MyRise. The servers suck. I can't sign on. It just won't let me. So I can't do any of the online stuff yet until they make those work. And I looked online, and they're like, well, one way to fix it is to just go into the online options and change which server you're trying to connect to. And so I tried every single server, the ones in Japan, the one in Australia. I tried them. None of them would connect.
I'm surprised Australia has one.
Yeah, I know, right? So I tried to connect with all of them. Didn't work. The game's pretty good. It's way better than WWE 2K20, especially from a crashing standpoint, considering when I was playing 2K20, I would just expect to crash in the middle, not in the middle of a match. That usually ran fine. But, if I was trying to load a match, sometimes it would just crash. I did experience 2 bugs. One, I threw a guy into the corner and knocked him out of the ring. And the way that I ran in the bottom made me clip something in the environment. And so after that, I would leave the ring. I would just walk through the ropes, but stay on the same level as the ring while walking on the outside area. And then when I came back into the ring, it reset everything, and I was able to proceed like normal. So it didn't completely break it. And then one other time was a 6-man tag match, I think. And I started running in the top right corner. And something must have been on the environment that my guy didn't like, so he just kept running. And I could not control him.
He was scared.
He just ran into the corner of the ring for 2 minutes.
He probably realized that he was in a video game.
Probably.
He was trying to escape.
And then on Tuesday and Wednesday, I had my girlfriend do face paint. Like Sting the wrestler. The first day was Surfer Sting. So it's kind of half the face is painted. And it looked really good. My girlfriend did a really good job on that. And then the second time was Wolfpack Sting, which is red and black. And the reason I bring this up is my girlfriend made me get latex face paint. Have you ever used latex face paint?
No.
Can't say I have.
It's really nice because it just peels off. You don't have to wash. You do have to wash it off, but it's not like normal face paint where it sticks to the skin. You literally can just peel it all off in one big thing, and it was really cool. But also because it was the latex paint, it made my lights my lights bounced off my face, and you could definitely tell where the light was coming from. Connor was there.
Yeah,
Is
I
it,
happen to notice.
Yeah.
Is it not a common thing where you would use latex as like a base and then put other face paint on top of that just to make all of it easy to remove?
That's what I
Acrylics
did.
over
That's what I
latex or
did.
something. Yeah.
That's what we did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She did a really good job, to be fair. Huge props to my
I
girlfriend.
only know that from nails
Well, yeah, that's what.
because it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm. So what I did was I was like, I was thinking like, especially when I took the. Were you there at the end, Connor, when I took the face paint off?
No, but I did see the photos that you posted on the Twitterverse.
Yeah, I was looking really pale. And that's partially because of the way that the lights were. I had no diffusion on the lights. So it's just very bright lights. And I was like, oh man, I'm going to look up a like a diffuser, something to put over them so that they still have the amount of brightness, but it just spread out, so it's not as hard light. It's more of a soft light. And I looked at a YouTube video, and the guy's like, all right, so there's this setup. It's really cheap. It's only about $200. I'm like, nope. Clicking off that one. And somebody's like, use a shower curtain. I'm like, all right. And my girlfriend a couple weeks ago just randomly bought a shower curtain that she was like, I don't need it. I'm not going to use it. I'm like, I'm taking it. And now I have better lighting. So use a shower curtain if you need light diffusion. Do not pay $200 for a light diffuser unless maybe you're like a photographer that needs that good, like the little bit better lighting you're going to get from professional gear.
Well,
anyway,
you get a lot more flexibility if you have like an actual light kit where you can like aim everything and move it around easily. But
yeah, but I
if
mean,
you're just streaming, just put a shower curtain over a fucking lamp. You're fine.
Yeah, that's what I did. Well, my lights are also really nice. They were like $30 a piece. So I did spend like $100 on my setup. When I moved.
You have like a ring light?
No, I have 3 super bright like LED bars.
Oh.
I was not gonna pay for a ring light or anything. And I did not want to pay. I didn't
really
want
cheap ring light you can get.
Oh,
that all the makeup girls are using it right now.
Oh, see, that's really good for those type of videos. But I have a green screen I want fully lit as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think, and Connor's been in you came in my stream on Thursday or Friday when I upgraded it. I think that the lighting looks more natural now with the diffusion.
It's not washing you out as much, which is what you want, and that's what the diffuser does.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about some news stories. Huh? What?
Did either of you see my my stream yesterday?
I was busy yesterday, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't come in.
That's fine. I was only asking because it was like embarrassingly bad.
What was embarrassingly bad?
It was me redoing the thermal paste on my CPU fan. That was the stream.
Oh, you're supposed to apply it to the metal base underneath, not onto the fan itself.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you apply it directly to the forehead.
So the bad part was just that like I've never streamed like from Twitch on my phone before. So I didn't know that like you get nothing. You get no functionality beyond your phone is a camera and here's a chat. Like you can't zoom in is my main thing. So the camera angle was terrible the entire time, and there was not much I could do about it. And like I was like, it's really dark, you can barely see. I'm gonna attach this flashlight to the ceiling and it looked like I was in a torture dungeon after that because this flashlight was just kind of shaking back and forth as I was.
Did you not just think of streaming from your computer and using your phone as a webcam?
I want you to think about that. What you think about me streaming from my computer while I'm redoing the thermal
right.
paste on my CPU.
I forgot. Not everybody has like 3 computers.
Yeah, I
at
mean,
their house.
I could have like set up one of my laptops or something, but I was like, fuck it. I'll just put my phone on this tripod and point it down. It'll look fine. Maybe I got to pinch to zoom in a little bit, and then like, no, and it doesn't even like warn you or let you like set up the shot beforehand. Like you hit start stream, and then it's like, okay, put your phone in landscape mode. Let's go. And you put your phone in landscape mode, and it's like 3, 2, 1. You're streaming.
I know what you
And
should have done. I know
What's
what you
that?
should have done. PlayStation 4. Could have used your PlayStation 4 to stream, and it would have been
and then,
better.
Like, hang the camera from my ceiling.
Yeah,
You're probably right.
that would have been better at least.
And then I had music playing from my Google Home in the background, and I had the Google Home plugged into. I have an adapter in the light socket in the ceiling, that turns it into 2 like regular outlets.
Yeah.
So I had the Google Home just hanging from the ceiling to
Okay.
act as a speaker.
Before we move on, because you just reminded me of something, WWE 2K20 has. Have you played wrestling games? I assume over the years. You know, in the menus, they always play like really shitty music.
Yeah.
It's not the wrestlers' music. It's just random bands they found that is really awful. So,
Or if you get the music add-on for Rocksmith, it's
no, those are the actual songs. So
that is the it's so bad. It's so bad.
It is. So you have a mode that it says, streamer or content creator friendly mode. And I was like, okay, so I turned it on and it shuts off the music in the menus. And I was like, great. And then I started up a match and it also shuts off the music for your entrances.
Well, yeah, because it's all copyrighted music.
And I was just like, so I was like, I don't care. I'm not big enough that it's going to matter. So I just kept the music on because I'm not going to cut out the intro music if I'm watching the entrance.
Just fucking walking out to complete silence.
That's before the 80s. That's what they did. There was no intro music before. It's accredited to Sergeant Slaughter.
Well, before the 80s, it was like that was around the time whenever all the like showboating and shit came to be a thing, right?
Yeah. But we're gonna move on. We're actually gonna talk about, because we have 2 conferences to talk about.
Yeah.
Did either of you guys actually watch
to
any of the
be
videos
brief.
from the state of play?
Not even a second.
Not
I
anything
think
I'm interested in.
I think I did skim a different article talking about everything though.
So the first one they showed off that I can see on from State of Play was Exoprimal, which is Earth Defense Force with dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That's I mean, it looks fine. I would probably play it. Also, one of the characters looks like they're from Cyberpunk.
Okay, so like the sword guy looks like Genji from Overwatch in my mind.
Yeah, they have a lot of inspiration, let's say.
There's like a guy in a Hulkbuster suit. Like, this looks great.
So, and then the second game they showed off with the Diofield Chronicle, which is a tactics game that I think Connor might like because it's similar to Final Fantasy. It's also made by, is it made by Square Enix? Because I see Bahamut there. If you look at like 1:20, a minute 20, they bring down Bahamut.
it kind of puts me in like a shit. What's oh damn it. I forgot. I forgot
It-
immediately. There's like a steampunk World War II sort of anime tactics game.
It definitely has a
Valkyrie.
little bit of a diesel punk feel to it.
Are you thinking
It was
Valkyrie Profile?
maybe
Where
that could be it.
where it's a kind of tactics game, and so you have limited movement, but it's actually third person where you're behind the shoulder.
Yeah, it kind of puts me like in a similar feeling to this gameplay where like it is a tactics game, but it feels like a real-time strategy game at the same time.
Yeah.
Because there's real-time, like you move and then the other team is also moving simultaneously, which is
Yeah.
kind of neat.
So I think that
we don't really know anything about it yet, though. It's just mostly trailer footage.
well, speaking
Yeah,
of
I wish
Valkyrie,
I could be
gameplay,
excited
though.
about it, but we don't know
speaking of
anything about it yet.
Valkyrie Profile, there is Valkyrie Elysium.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks.
Wait a
looks
minute.
All right. Looks like an
This
action
is an action
game.
RPG.
Yeah,
Fantasy beat 'em
that's pretty
ups.
cool.
yeah. It looks not bad. I like the original because I do like that random kind of assortment of styles that they had there, where it was like a third person shooter, but tactics instead of just like XCOM or Final Fantasy Tactics or something. So this looks more like it's just an action game, and I don't know if I'm getting any of these games. I'm also probably not going to get Returnal Ascension because I haven't played Returnal yet.
And that's an expansion,
Yeah,
I think, or like an
Yeah.
update.
An
It's
upcoming
supposedly
update.
really good, Returnal.
It looks cool.
I hear
It looks
that-
very Doom inspired.
Yeah, I hear good things. It's kind of a third-person shooter / bullet hell.
It's like a
and
roguelite too.
It is. It is. You die and then you have to restart, and I don't know. I just don't want to pay $60 for it. You know, it's like when the new Spider-Man game came out, and it's $50 for like 7 hours of gameplay. I just don't want to
But
pay that much.
Look at all the visual fidelity. You know, don't you want to pay a ton of money for something that ultimately doesn't really mean much?
No, I don't.
Nah, not at all.
Oh,
This game, I think Aroah was kind of tepidly
Yeah.
excited for it.
Yeah.
Ghostwire Tokyo.
So I whenever the trailer very first came out and we didn't know what the hell it was at all because they didn't say. I was like, that sounds pretty cool. I'm kind of interested. And then I saw a gameplay trailer a few weeks ago and I was like, oh man, this reminds me of like Breakdown / BioShock, but in like cyberpunk Tokyo.
Yeah.
And yeah, watching this trailer now, it's like that, but there's also like some weird fucking mysticism shit. Like this is exactly up my alley in like every way. I see like prominent yokai from Japanese folklore in here. Like it looks like it's this just you're a guy and then suddenly you have magic powers because of reasons and you don't really know why, which is like all about what Breakdown was about. I wanted so badly for another game like this that goes way harder than what BioShock did, and it looks like that's what they're doing here, and I'm really fucking hyped.
I want to see more about, like, if it's a linear adventure game or a linear action game. I mean to say, I feel like maybe I'll give it a pass. But if I could explore Neo Tokyo, and it looks like they put a lot of work into it, it'd be a shame if they didn't incentivize us to walk around it. Let me walk around it, game developers. I'll find a way to play it if it is.
Well, here's the thing. Good news. Comes out March 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
So
my
9
first
days.
day back at the office. Go figure.
Oh, are you going back to the... Fuck that.
Yeah.
Some of us never left.
I am super happy to be working from home. I also just got a raise. It was not a great raise. It was 2.5%, but hey, I got a raise.
Congratulations.
You
Thank
already
you.
make more money than I ever have.
I
Way
make
more
money
than I do.
I am making more money now than I made at Facebook.
Yeah.
Finally, yeah. I am.
Oh, yeah. Finally.
Yeah, fine. After 8 months,
Yeah.
a whole 8 months. Anyway,
Yeah.
Ghostwire Tokyo,
We really got shit to do, Nathan. We can't be doing this.
March 22nd. Forspoken is another game that's coming out. I don't know when. Sometime. You get to ride dragons. It looks kind of like Final Fantasy.
Dragon's
Like
Dogma, Final Fantasy.
yeah, it looks like Final Fantasy.
Action Final
I hate this
15.
trailer.
I'm
Yeah.
not a huge fan.
PlayStation has so many open world fantasy adventure beat 'em up bullshit. It's starting to feel a little copy pasted.
Yeah.
Well,
Speaking of
not just that. I mean the music, like it comes across as like a fucking like DreamWorks movie.
Yeah. There's another trailer for Final Fantasy Origin Stranger of Paradise. And it is, I believe there was a demo that I never played, but it is a kind of
A third-person fantasy action beat 'em up. It sure is.
yeah, that's what it is. And but it's Final Fantasy 1. That's the
And
story.
it's super edgy and really goofy, awkwardly written.
Yeah.
Let's remake stuff and totally miss the fucking point.
Yeah, exactly. Here's
And then
one
they make Gundam Evolution, which actually it kind of looks neat in the sense that it looks like Halo, but it's going to be a free-to-play, much like Halo.
yeah,
What the
free to play Gundam first-person shooter.
What the fuck?
And I'm also
Wait,
probably
wait.
not going to play it very long,
It
just like Halo.
some of the stuff makes me think it looks like Overwatch.
Yeah, it does look like Overwatch. It's objective based, it looks like.
Which, yeah, that part makes it at least interesting. It looks like it's got incentive on like armor abilities, which that's sort of why I was saying Halo, but maybe class abilities like Overwatch is more appropriate as far as like game function.
Yeah, I think it's a class-based shooter, but it's Gundam for some reason.
It's Chibi Gundam.
I'm gonna play it.
I mean, if it comes to PC, I might actually check it out. I'm into big robots.
Oh no, it says oh wait. This free-to-play multiplayer shooter set in the Gundam universe was actually announced last year on the PC, but this westernized trailer shows off it's also coming to PS4 and PS5 later this year. So it will be later this year coming to PS4, PS5, and PC. So I'll definitely play that. Another game I'll probably
I might actually pick this up. I love that developers keep on doing this. They go through and they make collections of like retro, and I mean like everything. In this case, we're talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga collection, which is 13 games from the 8-bit to the 16-bit era consoles, handheld to arcade. It features TMNT Arcade, TMNT Turtles in Time, the NES Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, the NES port, the Manhattan Project, Tournament Fighters, Turtles in Time,
Wait.
Fighters.
Tournament Fighters for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yes, Turtles in Time for SNES, Tournament Fighters for SNES, and hold on, do you have multiple games on different ports on this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I love that they're doing that.
They have Tournament Fighters for the NES, the Super Nintendo, and for the Sega Genesis. Yeah.
The correct version.
And yeah, that's why I like that they're doing it. Like if they made a Shadowrun port, I'd want them to include both the Super Nintendo and the Genesis version.
They're vastly different, the Shadowrun ports.
I know, but I want to play both of them again.
Me too. Anyway, go on. They have the Hyperstone Heist, I think is where you left off.
Then they got Tournament Fighters, Fall of the Boot Clan for Game Boy, Back from the Sewers for Game Boy, and Radical Rescue.
Yeah.
It's also coming out on Xbox, PC, and Switch, which, duh.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you put this on a Switch?
And the Steam Deck.
And the Steam Deck.
Probably. And then we have the last. Is this the last one? No, there's more.
No,
we have another one called
This one does look kind of fun though. Do y'all ever play Destroy All Monsters?
Yeah.
I played War of the Monsters.
War of the Monsters, yeah.
The one that you could play like Godzilla or Mecha Godzilla or
that was the Godzilla version of that, yeah.
Okay, it gives me vibes like that, and I actually adored that game.
It
Yeah,
looks
it reminds me of War of the Monsters, which is what they reference here.
yeah.
Which was it was basically the same thing. It just used a bunch of made up monsters that were
It
heavily
resembles, but
inspired
is
by
legally
like
distinct from.
yeah,
Yes.
and it was like a bunch of like classic style movie monsters, which I think is a really cool idea.
This looks like a fun party game.
Yeah,
Not something
which
I would play, by myself, but something that if like Aroa and Connor were like, let's play this game, I'd
No,
be down.
Aroah doesn't play games with us.
I don't ask to play games.
Yeah, I know. I know. If Connor wanted to play it and dragged Aroa there, we would do it. The next one, I've never seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
You're missing out.
I hear it's good.
It's good.
But apparently
Say that
there's
right now.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R.
Yeah.
It's a fighting
With
game.
50 playable characters, and All-Star Battle is a great game. So, and this is just an expansion of that.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
basically like a remaster, re-released kind of thing because it originally came out on the PS3.
And then we got Trek to Yomi, or Trek to Yomi.
Yeah.
Coming this spring and
Oh
not
boy,
just
a
on
2D
PlayStation.
black and white platformer.
It looks
Platformer adventure action
Platformer.
game.
Yeah.
Although it
there's
looks like
combat.
maybe there's
There's a
I
lot of
mean,
combat.
maybe it's just because it's black and white. It looks like maybe there's a stealth thing. It does look more like a hack and slash.
Limbo got a sword. Is
Yeah.
Yeah.
it looks all right.
probably it's probably meant to like invoke the feel
Classic art.
of of old school Japanese action movies.
It looks all right. I don't know if I'd ever buy it and play it, but it definitely looks like something our good friend Parallax Abstraction would play.
It's from the Shadow Warrior studio.
Yep, I saw that. Flying
Interesting.
Hog. Anyway, that's the game. Those are all the games. It was only a 20-minute presentation, which is really nice. They should do. It's like a Nintendo Direct, basically. They're like, here's some games that are coming out. Here's some games that are being worked on. See you next year.
Yeah, I mean we don't need a white dude wearing a straw hat playing a flute for 20 minutes.
That's true. We're gonna move on. We're gonna talk. We mentioned the game, passively, but now we're gonna actually talk about it for just a second. There is, in April, going to be an Overwatch 2 PvP beta. I don't know if I'll
I think
play
I'm
it.
done with Blizzard.
Well, remember
Like,
they are
I was
getting
thinking about. Go on.
they are getting purchased by Microsoft, and hopefully Microsoft will change the culture a little bit.
Microsoft's gonna gut the hell out of that company.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and maybe I'll wait until that's done before I support him.
Right. So I don't know. I might test the beta, try it out. I don't know. I like Overwatch. I thought Overwatch was a pretty good game, but I think that they waited too long to release Overwatch 2. I think Overwatch 2 probably should have came out like 2 years ago.
I probably just should have waited to announce it, but hey, we got some bad PR. Let's say anything.
Yeah. So I don't know. I haven't really paid much attention to Overwatch 2 and the development that they've had. So I'm not sure if they're actually going to change anything. And if they're not going to change anything, then why would you release a new game and not just do an update for your money? They want to sell more copies. Like if they're not going to change anything.
But you also get all the multiplayer stuff for free in Overwatch 1.
That's true. Are they but they're making
Overwatch 2 is basically you're paying for the co-op / single player expansion pack.
Oh, I see. So they're not going to update the multiplayer for 2?
I mean they are, but they're rolling those updates into Overwatch 1.
Oh. So there's no reason to buy it.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
But you can play the Overwatch story.
Cool. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about what's this DDoS thing that we're talking about, Aroah?
DDoS.
There's a new DOS attack method using an amplification vector that achieves a factor of 65. Basically means that it'll multiply current DDoS attacks by that amount.
Yeah.
Using I'm trying to
AI.
no.
Oh.
It was a much more obvious thing. It was so Mitel. Mitel is they're a voice over IP company.
They are, yeah.
Their products have a testing function. Basically lets you see how much traffic your voice server can handle. It's meant to be used for diagnostic purposes, and they specifically tell you when you're setting up your Mitel, MyCollab, and MyVoice Business Express collaboration systems that you should not expose this to the internet because it could go bad. It turns out that a lot of people are exposing that, and that attack allows for an amplification ratio of 4,294,967,296.
And
that's a lot of packets.
Yeah.
So essentially you're looking at a lot of data being able to throw at an individual, whether it be a company or a country. And this can last for 14 hours. They've been able to make it sustain 80,000 packets per second for 14 hours, and that sounds like a lot because it is.
That is a very much lot.
So what you're
looking
saying?
You're looking at like
Mitel.
no. No. And the thing is, it's not even like the vendor's fault necessarily.
No.
It's that the people setting up this stuff, they're not paying attention to best practices, and they're not reading the fucking manual for the software that they're getting, and they're just kind of putting it in place.
Yeah, see, I for one would be very upset if somebody were to use this to like take down the Russian government servers or something. I'd be very, very upset about that. And I don't think anybody should do it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
That'd be a damn shame.
Yeah, it would. So
I'm trying to see if I can.
Have they used this to attack anybody? Like actually attack anybody?
It doesn't look like it's been used much, or at least not to the degree that it could be used. So nobody's launched like a 14-hour long attack.
Yeah.
On anyone, but there are signs that there are definitely companies or groups that know that this is a thing, and they have used it, just not to quite the degree that is possible.
Okay. That
and
makes sense.
Also, standard DDoS mitigation practices will deal with this.
And most servers are gonna have a firewall or something that's just gonna block it.
Well, but that's kind of part of the idea, is that with a DDoS attack, you flood a firewall so much that it can't even let in good traffic. Like that's the idea.
Yeah.
but DDoS mitigation techniques usually now, if they're not on the ISP side, then you have some third party that can essentially reroute traffic going into your system to an offload service that then they have like a bunch of dedicated routers that can handle that traffic temporarily.
Yeah. So this could be bad. Hopefully it won't be bad, and we'll see what happens.
It's just it's another thing to say to keep your shit together.
Keep
Yeah,
everything
don't
updated.
secure.
Mhm.
Like,
Careful what you put on a database because it might not actually be as secure as you think it is.
yeah, like the one of the last things that was like that was memcached, where like the amplification ratio on that was like over 50,000, and memcache is not something that should really ever be exposed to the public internet. Like but people do it, and I don't get why. I don't get how.
Because it's
Anyway.
fast. It's
Yeah,
so
it's fast.
speedy.
It's fine. It's fine, Aroah. We're gonna move
Have
on.
a
We're
nice
gonna talk
show.
about something that's not fine. The Apple conference that happened and all the stuff that happened. I did not watch this. Did anybody actually watch this?
I
This
did.
is not relevant to my interest.
I watched it live.
Okay.
I got off work and it started at just as I was getting off work, so
Okay.
it timed perfectly for me. So I can go over the important parts.
Cool.
The big one was the Mac Studio.
Okay.
The Mac Studio is not the new Mac Pro. However, according to Apple, it outperforms the Mac Pro in every way possible. So congratulations, all you creative companies that may have bought the new Mac Pro last year. Go fuck yourself. Buy a Mac Studio for $20,000.
Now, is that the Mac Mini Fat Edition, or is that
Yes,
okay?
it is. It is about the size of two Mac Minis stacked on top of each other. It has the ventilation on the bottom, which is just asking for like dust and sand.
I'm looking at this, and I just wish you were painted purple and had a handle.
It's like maybe a little bit shorter than a GameCube, but a little fatter.
Yeah, but it reminds me of a GameCube.
And it doesn't play nearly as many games.
I think it could. They got that Rosetta, and is Dolphin? I think Dolphin's on Macs.
Dolphin is absolutely on macOS.
Oh yeah. So it can play exactly as many games as the GameCube.
The big fucking deal with the Mac Studio is that it not only uses the M1 Max but also the M1 Ultra as an option, and the M1 Ultra is two M1 Maxes glued together, and that's not even an exaggeration or a joke. It turns out that they were already planning on doing this whenever they announced the M1 Max. They've got the little fucking whatever the hell, the magic fiber shit that like what AMD talks about having.
Infinity Cache?
Yeah, sure. I don't know. They've got that, and it glues the two together. So now you can have up to 128 gigs of RAM. You've got 2.5 terabytes per second of interprocessor bandwidth, which somehow I don't feel like actually means anything. However, 800 gigabytes a second of memory bandwidth is pretty cool. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Now that is shared memory with the GPU architecture. But honestly, I think that might be more of a boon than anything else.
Yeah.
It is an impressive chip.
Yeah, it sounds to me like they're using the same type of design that AMD uses, where they use a chiplet design. And the faster the RAM is, the better the performance is going to be for the graphics part of it. Because I assume it's an integrated graphics chip.
Everything is integrated.
Yeah.
That's kind of part of it, is they've essentially taken the SoC concept and managed to scale it to beyond desktop class. Like this is probably, well, it is. This is a server class processor. It can have up to a 64 core GPU and a 20 core CPU.
And
And it supposedly is some crazy percentage more power efficient than the Intel Xeon processors that it's replacing.
but I would like to know, how much does it cost?
A lot. You're looking at, for the M1 Max version, $2,000, the M1 Ultra, $4,000. Mind you, that is just for the computer. I believe you get a keyboard and a mouse with it.
No monitor.
And that is also the starting price, mind you.
If you want rubber feet on the bottom, that's another $250. I'm joking.
Let me go ahead and customize. Let me customize my Mac Studio with M1 Ultra. We're gonna up to the 64 core GPU. That's an extra $1,000. We're gonna double the RAM from 64 to 128. That's $800. You do not have the option of expanding your internal storage manually, so you better do it when you buy, which means we need to get 8 terabytes of internal storage for $2,200. So
wait, what?
Yeah.
So
it comes with 1 terabyte by default.
I can buy. Now, this is still a lot of money, but you can get the 8 terabyte NVMe drives for $900. Was it?
Probably
something like that.
Yeah. By default, it comes with 1 terabyte. If you want 2 terabytes, that's $400. You want 4 terabytes, that's $1,000.
I mean, it's Apple, so you sort of have to expect they're going to be ripping you off, but yeesh.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I, for one, if you think the M1 Ultra is excited, just wait until you hear about their next chip iteration, which is the MK Ultra chip. That's where they break into your house and they give you a bunch of LSD and acid, and then you are the computer.
Oh, my mistake. It doesn't come with a keyboard or mouse.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's extra.
That's
proprietary.
It says at the bottom, what's in the box? Mac Studio power cord. That's what you get.
So I'm looking this up. I was wrong. I thought it was cheaper. And maybe it's for a normal drive. But it is still, it's $1,300 for an 8 terabyte Sabrent Rocket Q. Which is still a lot of money, but it's still $900 or $1,100 more to get the 8 terabyte Mac.
Yeah, you're definitely paying a hefty Mac tax or Apple tax for that. Now I will say that outside of that, if you are a professional who needs hardware that is on the level of the Mac Studio, this is honestly probably a surprisingly good piece of hardware.
Now, I'm going to interrupt you, and I'm going to say that I was not quite mistaken. It looks like the Samsung 870 normal SSD, not the NVMe SSD, you can get for $719.
And so I will go alongside that and say that it does have quite a few I/O ports, the Mac Studio.
Oh, good.
Because it is actually the first desktop Mac to have front I/O.
Of course.
Can't believe that that's the case. But yeah, it has 2 on the cheaper one. They are USB-C, like 3.2 whatever the hell ports. On the $4,000 one, they are Thunderbolt 4 ports, and then the rear I/O is 4 Thunderbolt 4 ports, 2 USB 3.2A ports. You get HDMI out and an Ethernet, 10 gig Ethernet, and a headphone jack. Wow.
Wow. Oh, it has a
and an
headphone
SD
jack.
and an SD card reader on the front.
Nice.
I forgot to mention that. That is something. But like you could very easily use that with external storage. And chances are, unless you're I don't even know. I don't know why you would need 8 terabytes of internal storage on something like this.
Plex.
But well,
You
you're
know,
not, what?
Start a Plex media server with it.
Yeah, use a Plex. You're need a fucking 20 core Plex server. Running on Mac OS.
Yeah.
I think
no,
that's a little bit overkill. Just maybe a little bit.
But it like I think overall, like, yeah, it's a good deal for somebody who needs this. But I think that is like 10 people
Yeah.
in the whole world.
I mean, if somebody wanted to give me one, I would take it. And I would totally run my Plex server on it.
I do think that this is like a pretty exciting thing in terms of like this is really hitting like Intel and AMD pretty hard.
Oh man, if I still worked at Facebook, I would totally request one of these.
There's no way.
I would do it. They were dumb. They're like, hey, we want you to use a Mac. And so I was like, okay. So I requested a laptop, and I was just like, they had different SKUs that you could get, and I was just like, I'm gonna pump everything up. So I requested the 32 gigs of RAM, the terabyte hard drive, like the biggest screen that they had on the laptop. Like I requested just the highest of everything, and they sent it to me. No questions asked. They're just like,
they
here you go.
Had it sitting in a warehouse. Like,
yeah,
they're probably ready for it.
So I was like, sweet, and my manager was like, oh yeah, like as long as we have it there, we'll send it to you. I'm like, cool. That was one of the best perks of about that job.
They, alongside the Mac Studio, also announced the Apple Studio display, which everyone gets really hyped over. Apple's displays. I'll admit, I've got like a 12-year-old iMac sitting next to me, and that screen still looks really good. So I've got to hand it to Apple. They're pretty good about their displays. I have heard that there's an LG display, which I think LG makes all of Apple's panels anyway. That is basically the same thing. However, this display has a dedicated SoC on it. It's like a couple generations old iPhone processor, which is weird.
Tell me I can use this as an iPhone. I want to be able to use this as an iPhone.
No, it doesn't have a touchscreen.
Dang it.
However, you can pay $300 to make the glass less reflective with a nano texture applied to the glass. As well, you can add a height adjustable stand for $400.
I want it to I want it to be less reflective, and then just be like, wait a minute, did they just cut up a shower curtain and put it on?
This is painted balsa wood.
Man.
No, I do not think that a $2,000 monitor is for most people.
No.
It's got an ultra wide. It's got the same camera as the iPad. Ain't that right?
Do you ever think that when Apple is designing products, they're just like, I wonder if we can get our people to pay for this shit? Whatever. I mean, it's got to stop somewhere. And then like they keep buying. People People are like, "Oh, this is so great."
They keep making it stupider and stupider.
Nobody's gonna pay for $400 wheels. What the fuck? People are paying for $400 wheels?
How fucking far can it go? I don't understand. Apple is actually just a massive fucking social experiment to see how far consumerism can go.
Yeah.
And no one thought it would last this long.
Were there any other notable things about the monitor?
It's got cool speakers, and it's got a 3 microphone array for presumably noise canceling, and it's also 27 inches and it's 5K. And also apparently alongside releasing killed killed one of the iMacs.
Wait, what?
I guess there's like, yeah, I guess they like, what there was some iMac. It might have been the 27-inch iMac that they just kind of silently stopped selling.
Oh, you mean it? They killed production on it. I thought wait, when they hooked it up, it like killed the iMac.
No. Oh yeah. They just kind of silently discontinued the 27-inch iMac at the same time that they announced this display. And it has 4 Thunderbolt ports on the back and no standard inputs at all.
Of course not.
It has no HDMI.
The problem I have with Apple is I wouldn't mind having an Apple computer in my house to like dink around with. Because I genuinely do like to learn new operating systems and hone up on my abilities to, support people when I'm at my job.
But
But
like when it has an entry point of $6,000.
yeah, that's a major problem is that it's too much money for me to spend on something that I would just dink around with.
I'll spend $700 on a Mac Mini. What are you, poor?
Yes.
I'm actually not
Hey,
poor. But I'm cheap. There's a difference because
You might
I-
as well
I-
be.
I love that they have gameplay of some game. I'm not even sure what game this is on the Mac Mini site, and it's running at like 15 frames per second.
look at this. We can play Tetris at 15 frames a second.
During this Apple conference, by the way, they announced the iPad Air.
Okay.
It's just it's like the iPad Pro, but it's 3 inches smaller.
Okay.
And it's a lot thinner. It has an M1 in it now.
Is it
Like, oh boy,
is
it's
it
$600.
okay? Because there's one that's like 300.
That's the standard. That's just iPad.
Okay.
That one also, I think baseline has like 16 gigs of storage still. Like it's
Okay.
something stupid small, and it also is only compatible with the first gen iPad Pencil. It doesn't work with the second gen, which is the one that you want. Because
If you want to draw.
obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
But the iPad Air was announced, and this came up in my head because I saw people commenting on the trailer that they played. Part of the trailer was them showing off Genshin Impact on the iPad, and the gameplay footage showed someone like just playing the game completely incorrectly and just getting destroyed, which was really funny.
I really like that.
It was some executive went, "We need footage of Genshin Impact," and then some poor producer was like, "What the fuck is a Genshin Impact?" And I don't know.
Could not
yeah.
have got an intern to play the game for him.
Nope.
Okay.
Um,
So the iPad Air, they announced the iPad Air for $600.
Yep.
And then they announced iOS 15.4 and macOS Monterey 12.3.
no,
Oh, okay.
they didn't announce that.
Well, then
I don't know why that's in this article.
What about
Yeah,
the
they
iPhone?
didn't.
What about the iPhone SE?
Yeah, that was what I was going to go into because that was the only other thing that they actually announced. Besides, like, well, you could stream baseball on Apple TV Plus. iPhone SE, they're updating it. It's the iPhone SE 3. It starts at $430, probably with 64 gigs of storage because that's usually what they do. Actually, if I remember right, it starts at 64, and then you can get the more expensive one. Looks like it's 580. That's 256 gigs. So basically, they're kind of they're railing you into getting the more expensive one because 64 is just not enough, at least in my opinion. 256 is too much, in my opinion.
I think
for me.
250. Yeah, it would be too much for me, but I think it's 128 or 256. I think is pretty reasonable. I think I have a
128 is a sweet spot in my mind.
Yeah, I think I have 128 on my phone. I got a Pixel 6.
That's what I've got.
Yeah.
But it's the iPhone SE. Every time a new one comes out, all it is the current iPhone in an older case. But it has all the current like internal hardware. So you've got the current processor, and everything comes with that. It does have a sort of older camera. I think it's like the iPhone 8 camera, probably. But it has some newer features than like what the iPhone XR had, which is what I'm still rolling. And I think it has 5G. It has 5G connectivity, which is what everybody's all hyped about. It doesn't have Wave 5G, which for all of the like 3 places in the United States that doesn't or that has Wave, like you don't get that. So.
If I were to get an iPhone, which I won't because of various reasons, I don't want an iPhone, and also I'm on Google Fi, so the international travel doesn't really work on the iPhones. Like, it's weird the way that it works if you're bringing in a phone like an iPhone. But if I were to get one, I would probably get an SE model. I think that those are pretty good entry point, and for somebody who doesn't really care about being part of that ecosystem.
The SE is the correct option for most people.
Yeah. It's just
Not
as good.
I would recommend anybody ever get an Apple product by any means, but if you have gone out and already own an Apple product, and I don't know why you do that, but go ahead and just give us 5 stars on Apple Podcast. That's the only good thing you could do with an Apple device.
You know, the funny thing is I know somebody who does listen to our podcast, and she uses it on her Apple devices.
Why don't you give us a 5-star review?
Yeah.
Just look up the Clinton Score Classics, and I guess Reeton too if you want. And smash that 5-star button.
Yeah, do it. Leave a review. We'll read it on the podcast.
How did I forget? I'm sorry. Wait, did you have something else about the
No,
iPhone?
I think I was gonna say the same thing you're gonna say, but go on.
The green
Green
phones.
Woo!
Wow. You got iPhone 13 and 13 Pro are now available in green and Alpine green, respectively.
Oh,
I
boy.
You don't have both options for each phone. If you want the bigger phone, it's Alpine green.
They did have a couple other things in the other news section. We've already covered, but I don't know if they announced it during the thing.
They didn't come out on stage and go, "We're not selling 27-inch iMacs anymore."
They did not say that.
that.
It says Apple. That'd be great. We killed it.
It's gone. We're being brave again. Fuck you.
Apple releases black and silver Magic Keyboard with Touch ID, Magic Trackpad, and Magic Mouse. Which
Yeah,
I hate.
they did.
I hate
They did
the
mention
Magic
that.
Mouse.
You know, it sucks because like ergonomically it feels like dog shit, but I do like it as a mouse.
I've used it on a Mac, and it's bad.
It is bizarre to me that I honestly would prefer to use a Magic Trackpad most of the time.
Yeah.
because like I think the gestures in Mac OS are fantastic, and like it is surprising how useful it is to have a horizontal scrolling mouse that works so
Yeah.
flawlessly.
It says Apple introduces new spring colors for iPhone cases and Apple Watch bands. I don't know what that
I don't
means.
remember. I don't remember if they actually showed any of that at the conference.
And the last thing I'm seeing is HomePod Mini is launching in Belgium, Netherlands, and Switzerland at the end of March.
No one cares.
What's a HomePod? Is that like the Google Nest?
It's the Google Home.
Okay, it's a Google Home. Okay.
Yeah, but it costs like $100 or something. I don't even know. I guarantee you it's too much. And also like the original HomePod failed, and that makes me happy.
So that was the Apple conference. They're coming out with computers. Nobody that listens to my podcast is probably gonna buy. Especially since the person who has Apple products only has the phones and tablets, and I refuse to help them if they buy a Mac.
I have a phone and a really old iMac. Don't I count?
No, because really old iMacs don't really count.
It doesn't exist to Apple anymore.
No. If it's over like 6 years old, well, actually, they had that garbage can design for like 9 years. And then they're like, wait, we're still selling this? Oh, okay.
Well, as long as people are buying it, whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, we will be back next week with some more exciting tech and video game news. I want to thank you, Aroah, for being here.
I was here.
And I want to thank you, Connor, for being here.
I actually participated this week.
Yeah, I'll see you in like an hour, Connor.
I still have so much work to do to get ready. I'll see you in... I'm probably going to show up in like 20 minutes and just get people ready.
Okay, I'll see you guys then. But, well, not you, Aroah, because you're a loser.
I asked and he said no, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna respect that. I just wish Aroah was still our friend, you know?
I do. I
get that a lot.
Thank you for listening. We'll be back later. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.